the harsh yellow face. But until that day, he has games, and we can see the sun in Valorant.
Yeah, and speaking of Valorant, we're ready to jump into the pistol round here, and it's going to be on Bind to kick things off. Again, reminder, mouseSpaz has the 1-0 already, so mouseSpaz coming in from the upper bracket only needs to win this map right here. That's a weird placement on the camera. We call those the voyeur cams. We were calling them that the other day because a couple times you'd see those low-lying cams. You just don't look down there, so you don't even think to see it because your crosshair placement's going to put things up just a little bit higher. So, yeah. Kind of interesting to see the camera so low to the ground. There is going to be a bit of a change here. Welshie playing the Rays. So we just watched Welshie play in the last one. I'm pretty sure Welshie was playing... What was Welshie playing in the last one? Dev was on Breach.
He was playing the Breach. No, Dev was on Breach, you're right.
Welshie was on...
Dev was now on the Cypher. Welshie was playing the Brimstone, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right. So now Brimstone is in Nerf's possession. So
no, Nerf was playing the Brimstone the whole way.
Yeah, so what was
through.
What was Welshie playing? Are we really this dumb?
Was he the Cypher? He was the Cypher. Or Bjor was the Cypher.
So they just kind of... No, Bjor was definitely the Sage.
Okay,
either way,
so
the push is coming through over towards the B site, so we'll figure it out another time. They do have the Breach in play here on the attacking side. There's the nade coming out as well, doing significant damage. The flash is perfect, but Welshie blind spraying, eventually going to die after picking up quite a few kills. It's all onto one. It's the Sova. Loner sees that recon dart come out, has to be careful, can't peek out too wide, gonna get spotted, and there you go. So now they know exactly where this person's at. Loner's gonna have to reposition, trying to find a better way to play this one. Tapping the bomb over and over again. Drone playing this one perfectly. There's the power of those shock darts. And even gets caught in the tripwire there towards the end. But 1-0 will be the start here for mouseSpaz.
You want to know what's really funny of a strange habit that I've just noticed about myself? Is when these rounds end, I find myself just reflexively pressing Z to turn on an auto-director that doesn't exist.
See, I hit F a lot when I'm playing, so...
To inspect your weapon?
No, I have that disabled by default. I have F-bound to clear decals, so to clear bullets and blood, and it's become a nervous tick that I actually do it. I do it in every game. Doesn't matter if the game has it or not. I will press that button in every single game I play. There's Wardell kicking things off with the play up on short. The attacking side trying to get in. Drone's going to get one with the shock dart. Very rare that you actually see a kill come through on that. Usually just damage dealt. Kind of like Phoenix's Hot Hands ability or even the Molly coming in from Brim. Not something that happens all that often. Now, that said, it's down to two. It's Dev and Sage. And they're both carrying the same thing. Sage trying to see if that tripwire was low enough to duck under it, but no, it was not. So now it's going to turn into a crossfire setup here with two shorties on mid.
Now, the real question is just, does Lasky give it to him? Lasky is the only player who's likely to do this. If they move as a duo, it might even not work out. He's thinking about it. There's 3 players pushed up here. How far do they have to get away from the spike? The spike is planted close to them, pretty much as close as you safely can plant on the site. Oh, information from the Sova. They know they're here. And they should, based on the way he was holding, probably have a pretty good idea of what they're trying to do. It's a shorty round. They're going to be trying to make shorty round. There's the poke round. There's the bait. Cutler even takes that kill away from Lasky. He was patient this whole time, but no. And the shorty will get one. Okay, Dev. There you go. Population prize. No more, though.
Yeah, they didn't realize there was a second one. Dev was never picked up on that Sova dart. Almost got another kill, too, towards the end. A significant amount of damage dealt to 2 targets. The first one got hit in the chest and in the head. The other one got hit more towards the waist and legs. But still, this goes here. This will be the first buy round. This is when things really sort of hit the fan.
No more charges
and if you're big frames, you gotta push back just a little bit. When they played earlier, it was on Haven. That was the close game they had. And I actually watched that one on Hayes' stream to see how things went down, because I had anticipated this at that point. I figured this would be our final. I just wasn't sure who was going to be coming from the upper bracket and who would be coming in from the lower. There's the nade out and the aggression coming in now with that nade and that molly. Again, that shock dart. Dropping Welshie's armor down to 29 and HP down to 90. Another shock dart following in from Drone. But no push. That's actually one of the changes that I was curious to see was who was Drone going to play? How was he going to use that? I would have figured Drone would play like an initiator. He was definitely a player well known for his mechanics when he played CS, and I expected him to play someone like Omen or Jet. Obviously, those players are not as useful at a competitive play anymore. They were for very short periods of time. Here comes the play in towards this A site, or does it? This is that 3 smoke brim execute that gets you access, and there's the wall we were talking about in actually the last game. When it comes to getting onto the site, you can plant in front of that wall, and you're good to go. No, the spike goes down, the wall gets broken, so they're going to have to fight their way back into the site. This is not where you wanted to be if you were on the side of mouseSpaz.
I love that immediate response to the wall going down, because they know exactly what the attempt is from the other side. So what you do is you have 2 players who immediately start spamming it. You've got enough bodies up here, and you drop the Roomba to go straight through. And so the Roomba forces them to focus on that noise, and because the smoke is up there, in addition to the wall, they don't really know whether it's going to come through or not. There's so much doubt and limitation in their minds. Now time alone is going to prevent Wardell from doing anything here, but the bullet certainly will help him along. And that's going to be the round. First round on the board for Big Frames off the back of a pretty clever play there. Great response to what has become, I mean, it's hard to say at this point since so few games have actually been played, but a more staple play that we've seen. That they have a default response to that. I like to see that from Big Frames.
So here's my issue with those rounds. Those rounds are really awkward from the attack. So if you win the pistol and you win the anti-eco, it doesn't matter how well you win it. You're likely coming into that round with SMGs because your money didn't stabilize enough. It's very strange because on the attacking side, you're working with SMGs, but the defenders all have rifles. And you'll see a lot of third-round swings towards the defense, and this is like your opportunity to kind of clap back if you're on the attack. But it's a weird sort of economy balance that I'm not sure I agree with.
It's like not a true bonus round. It's a bonus by necessity. Almost.
Yeah, and it doesn't actually, like, it's not doing you any favors. Because unlike a bonus round in Counter-Strike, you're not getting extra cash for those kills. You're just getting the regular money.
That is one interesting aspect of there being no different skill rewards for things. I think, I'm wondering whether that'll be something they keep consistent or whether that's something they adjust. Because I think it would be cool to see things like shorty plays that are very risky, perhaps yield themselves a little bit more. Did they expect this player boosted up with a satchel? Bjor's gotten a kill, so the focus is going to be on the Sage, and the idea here is that if they swing out, they're focused on the Sage, and that allows Welshi to get the kill. The problem is there's only, well, no, with the res, they may peek into it, because now they've got the double peek, but I think they're just going to TP out of here, especially with that slow orb going in. I actually don't like this slow orb from the other side. Nade's going to chase them, bail out to the TP. There we go, the Sage is out, and the Cypher's just going to take a slightly longer rotation. So I like that call from the attacking side. It's not working out for you. You got the res off, cut your losses, get the heck out of Dodge.
I actually would have loved to see some like fun portal play there. The Sage can throw the slow orb through the portal just to mess with them to try and get them to rotate early and see if they can get out. There though, Loner able to pick off Wardell. That's the operator down. That was from Heaven as well. Something weird going on with Drone there, just sort of staring at the flames. Gets caught by some damage from Upper. The nade coming in, and yeah, that's quick mop up from Welshi, who goes up over the top rope. Gets on top of the APC, and they just absolutely obliterated the take. Now, Lasky was still in position. They just assumed they eliminated everyone. No, actually, time ran out at that point. So they lost a round on the clock, not on eliminations. So Welshi gets a couple of kills, but then dies there right at the end.
And the other interesting thing is that running out on the clock doesn't really punish you in the same way that it did in CS. As an attacker in CS, if someone's not familiar with it, if you run out of the clock on the attacking side, you do not get a round loss bonus. You do not get money from it. That is not a punishment in this one, which I think reflects their desire for you to sort of concentrate on trying to get ult orbs or that kind of thing, allowing there to sort of be multiple ways and objectives to play in an eco. Nerf's already cleared out bathrooms. That's a nice one. Just quickly make sure that nobody's coming from that direction, take the first pick, and make this all that much tougher. Loner, that might have been a misclick. He's going to spot one towards the right side. Didn't actually see them out left.
No, he did. Loner sent a dart out, just missed towards the Sage. So Loner is very much aware of what's going on over towards the short A territory. Here comes the push as well into that area. And again, they're going for a bit of a play to just try and get that spike planted. There's the 3-smoke execute. Loner able to get one. Damage coming down as well from the Sova arrows. Those shock darts doing significant damage. Nerf picking up another kill on the round, and they are getting just absolutely obliterated. It's on the Sage, or the Cypher, excuse me, who actually does get two. Cutler able to gun down a couple before meeting his untimely death. But it's a third round for the defenders nonetheless.
And they get the off as well, so no concerns there. EP's in, 3rd round. That's looking quite nice. Their money has built as well. Loner, who went down.
Reminds me of someone.
He's got 8K. He's just getting the alt back as well. Presumably will buy it for one of his teammates. But they got a bit of a cash reserve pocket here. On the other side, Rifle should be coming up here, and indeed they are. Let's just refresh the scoreboard for myself. They'll have another operator up for Wardell. I don't think any teammate's going to have to take a hit for that one. They had the cash available for it. We'll see if Wardell has a little bit more luck this time around. He was hitting some pretty wild clips with it before that I've seen, but it's a little tougher to do on the attack because movement is such a penalty with that big operator in this. It is kind of nice to see that mouseSpaz tag. Oh, we have an ult coming out already. That's the Breach who's going to ult towards bathrooms. I did catch Nerve, but he's so far back. Okay, Drone does get there in time. Wasn't sure he'd be able to take the fight. Now they're going to move in. There's a flank, though, out the TP, so Drone has to deal with that. Does he win this duel against the Rays as they come through? He does indeed. Wasn't expecting to face. Welshie will lose his life. That's the spike planted again. But the ult from the Sova should deny this, or at least get the kill as they come off of it. Indeed, Loner has the lineup. And now pressure is on in an even retake situation.
Oh, Hayes somehow stays alive. Nice shot from Loner. Loner goes for the swap to the Rifle, and now it's a 1v1. It's him versus the Cypher. And there's the arrow going down in towards U-Haul, but Cutler, looking like the Cutler of old from Counter-Strike, as he's found some new energy here on the Valorant side. Actually popped into Hayes' stream earlier and just was watching them play. And even though you saw some of the same frustrations you see sometimes from Counter-Strike players, hearing the frustrations about the peaks in the game, and, oh man, I can't believe he peaked that, why is he holding that? One of the things you did here at the end, man, I really miss competing. Like, this is like so much fun. When they finally win, there's still that same like
my eyes.
Yeah, sure. The frustrating moments are still equally as frustrating, but the drive is still very much there for these guys, and the skill is there too. So
it's cool as well to see, you know, Cutler and Hayes competing under mouseSpaz, even if the org doesn't necessarily exist anymore.
Yeah, right.
The tag, it's kind of cool. I wasn't Oh, okay, well, she just gonna delete Wardell as he tries to go in with the up peak. That is a complete later shot. Nade gonna follow it up as well to keep the pressure on here. They'll try and get some information off the back of the Cypher camera, but it only covers a very narrow frame of reference. So Sova's gonna ult into its site, but I don't think there's any information off that, and there's no connections either, not even damage done. So that's really kind of a burned ult in a rough situation, and because the Sage was the one who's lost, this is not as easily recoverable. You can't get the reds up, you can't get any heals up. The more pressure that's applied, the rougher this is gonna get. At least
the bomb buddy over on Long B actually did spot out Drone. There's the satchel going down. Welshie trying to get up on top of the roof. They heard that satchel blast, so they're going to check this for sure. And actually, there's Drone trying to send down some lightning. Now there's a Brim ult over on A. That's actually brilliant. That's baited them over, and now they're going to have the TP, so they're going to go for a 4-player execute over towards the B site. That's going to put all the pressure onto Welshie. Welshie's dumped out everything. All of those nades gone, but they've already managed to get one over. That's the Sage picking up a kill on Velasky. There's the ult as well coming through from the Brim. Loner hitting off one of the off, but there's a response frag coming in from Cutler. And now it will fall onto Cutler, so despite the fact that they had that strong play rotating over towards the B site after that Brim ult on A, they didn't do it quick enough, and they get punished by the quick rotate back after the TP noise tips them off.
I put a lot of that credit on the Welshie, not just for the 3 kills, obviously those are huge, but for me, and remember, one of those was just instantly deleting Wardell as he tried to come in for an op pick. But for me, it's the survivability. He's alone. As you said, they drew the rotation off of that Brimstone ult. They tried to swing in with 4. Welshie gets a kill, and then he gets out, and he stays alive, and that's huge, because then they can just immediately move back into what isn't even a retake, because the spike's not down, but just to contest it, because they have to consider the threat of Welshie. So smart play, effective play, and Hayes, speaking of smart and effective, is going to get a kill with the Ghost, of all things, to start off this round. If Bjork gets an orb, he can res him.
The res, honestly, like we talked about it before, the res is the biggest piece of why it was bizarre that we saw a few teams operating without a Sage. When I've seen teams play and they didn't have a Sage, that was always super confusing for me.
Yeah.
No charges left.
just why would you play 5v5 if you can play 6v5 in some rounds?
Exactly. You can actually hear Wardell going for that heal multiple times, trying to trigger it, but waiting for the cooldown. Finally does get it off. But here comes the push in towards the B site. And they're going to have to contend with the Sage at the very least, who is around the corner. So much being sent their direction. Oh, later, never mind. The Sage, not even an issue. As they push through as well, Drone's going to get gunned down, trying to step through the smoke into the ice. This is a 4-on-2 all of a sudden. The numbers, though, not necessarily all that great because the gun's not all that great. They do have to contend with Welshie, who's coming in through on the flank. And Welshie's already taken care of one. Nerf finding another. Now a 2-on-2.
This could be rough on timing. If they tap the spike, I think that Sage is going to feel pressured to peek out. That's Wardell, who's trying to make some noise, but they're just sticking it. And the player coming hookah just now has gotten there in time. I was worried this would be a little late, but with some tags out, even though this is the 1v1, this should be fine. The nade will finish him, but did they buy enough? No.
Yeah,
Defuse comes in. They've got this.
Yeah, they've got it.
Yeah,
yep,
they do.
Just
Last
barely.
second,
1.79. 1.79 seconds left. Again, another nice feature. It actually shows you how much time is left after the defuse. The lowest I've seen, 0.01. Like, literally the lowest you could get.
That was an eco, though. We have to consider. That was an eco. Those were pistols coming in. They burned some ults. They got players quite low. It was a 1v1 in the clutch in the end. And they got the spike money as well. So not a bad eco for mouseSpaz. You can see this cash is gone for the defensive side too. If they don't win this one, they're going to be in a little bit of trouble. And that would be the chance to close the ranks. So this is an important round. This is a swing round. Even though I would say, honestly, this economy is a little more forgiving than I expected before playing the game.
Nerfed. Over on that A site, he and his cohort's about to be tapped as they're trying to come in towards this A site. Bomb Buddy does spot one. Nades going out from the Welshie. The Rays, excuse me, couldn't get the words out properly, but it doesn't matter. Drones turn things back around. A quick kill coming in from Dev. Lasky hiding inside this smoke over towards the showers, trying to rinse off the stink of the last few rounds. Loner working their way through. That's a big res coming in on the Welshie, who's been putting in good numbers for this defending side. Wardell picking off one with the op. I'm missing every kill, but it's okay. We get the general gist of things. It'll fall down onto Lasky, and Loner doesn't even have to worry because Welshie's got his back.
Now, I believe, at least in Counter-Strike iterations of this game, or of this team, Welshie was the IGL as well. He calls for them. So the fact that he's putting up 14, 5, and 3 while calling, presumably for the roster, that's nice. Now, we were both talking about it, at least from what we've seen in the big frames. It's a little bit of a looser style at this point. Obviously, the meta's not very developed and defined for a lot of these players. And so, while there is coordination with the utility, it's a little bit more of that kind of schoolyard mentality of, all right, you throw this here, I'm going to try this here. And less very defined strats and calling your strats up. The game's only been available for a few weeks now. Not that surprising, but still, Welshie, individually, very impressive so far.
Revealing area.
Loner, the operator player for side of big frames, putting up a decent performance, 10 and 6, but Welshie, like you said, Welshie, the all-star currently for the side of big frames. That swap over to Rays, proving to pay itself off. Again, man, those nades, they're so powerful. Say what you will about the rocket, but the nades are just beast mode. Now, here they go on this push towards B, and there's the ult as well. It's actually going to hit that Sage, who still gets 2 kills somehow, and make it a third. How is that even possible? Pure was stunned from the ult and just obliterated them on the push. The one left alive is Drone. That is absolutely unheard of. Ridiculous round coming in from the Sage.
That's an unreal clip. They had no expectation that a player would be in that position because she was boosted up on her wall. She gets knocked off by the ult. Bjor drops down, has 3 targets in front of him, and the fire rate is significantly slowed from the breach ult, but that almost works in his favor because it's just taps onto the head. And, I mean, perfect aim considering the circumstances, considering how shaky his screen is. But, man, what a way to make lemonade out of a pile of lemons you've been given. That is a fantastic turnaround.
There's the dart going down on long to try and spot things out. The nade coming out as well here, but actually not going to get thrown as of yet. Well, she starting to rotate out. It does look like they're going to be stacking more towards this A site.
Now, they've been rebuffed today a few times. It's been a while. It's been a while, right? And this is a much slower round, but that's the pick they needed. We haven't seen it so much from Wardell so far, and this could be a difference maker. The opening pick with the ult. Take out Loner, who's been threatening to the second position in multiple rounds where they tried to go through. There's a second as well. This is what we know that Wardell can do. This is what we expect from him. The Roomba coming back in creates a bit of a threat, but with the ult up to control U-Haul, now they can push out quite comfortably. They know they have control of bathrooms as well, and that's the full site, and it's already the save as well. A 2v5, they want no part of it. The money still hasn't quite recovered from that eco where they lost 4. Spike's going to be moving back in, but the Sage and the Cypher, I think they're just going to sit on this one. Maybe go through the TP and try and get some exits, but even then, I don't know that that's encouraged.
That's disappointing there if you're Bjor too. Bjor going to pick up that ult orb on long. And as they get to the orb and start picking it up, then it pops. The spike gets planted over on A, so there is no more ult orb. Would have been nice to get that extra ult orb for your Sage as well. The support player, not always likely to pop off like we saw just a few rounds ago from Bjor. But it is going to be a 4th round here for the attacking side of mouseSpaz. Again, 1-0 is currently the... the score, as it is a best of 3 with a 1-map advantage. We did have a tech issue there for a second as well. Stream did lag just a little bit. We got it resolved. Don't worry.
Why you gotta be breaking things, Mark?
Dude, it's been a rough night for me with tech, right? OBS crashed twice. We had that unfortunate incident before the stream started. Like, this has just not been working out. It's not been my day. Sometimes
it's just the ghost in the machine. Comes to get you. Can't have technology cooperate all the time. Just gotta remind us sometimes that there's just a will to break. I think one of the characters, Ray's, has a voice line where she says, "None of my machines had malfunctioned yet. Isn't that great?" With an emphasis on yet. You can't say the same today.
Revealing area.
Well, Loner sends a high and dry dart out there towards the backside of Showers. Will spot out the Brim, but only the Brim. That was Lasky. Lasky's backing off. They do have a lot of bodies grouping up towards short. Breach sending out the Tremor. Flashbang to follow. High into the sky. It's kind of crazy the distance and the range on that, as the player in heaven also gets flashed that far away from it.
Eye on Welshie here. I think he's set up to potentially go quite huge. Has the nade still? Oh, tucking it a little bit short. That's a burn. There's a huge potential if he dumped it over based on the information they had from the Boom Buddy, just to lob that over and find massive damage. But anticipating they'd be a little bit further forward, they were much more timid than he expected. If he gets 1 kill here, he does have the rocket, though. Keep that in mind, and there are 4 players on this site, as very slowly but surely mouseSpaz is moving through. Nice use of the Brimstone ult. That's going to prevent them from getting the spike down. That's going to put the pressure on. They're going to try and flash their way into U-Haul, but again, they find nothing for it. And at least, well, to this point, they hadn't been exposed whatsoever. Good trade onto drone. Secures U-Haul again. The ult comes in from the Silva. They're running out of time. These ults have been used to just keep them back, keep them pushed. And this is the last round and a half, so you got to burn them. And indeed, they will. Big frame secure round 8, just never really allowing mouseSpaz onto the site, keeping up that pressure and bleeding out the time.
Well, 8-4. Big Frame's looking solid here in the first half. They started off a little bit bumpy. You know, they let those 2 rounds go early, and then it was just Dink and dunk rounds coming in from the defense, or the attack side, excuse me, now on defense of mouseSpaz. So now that we switch over into this second half, we're going to see mouseSpaz, whose backs are against the walls, only in this map. If they lose this one, it's still tied 1-1, and then we go into the third map, and I'm not sure what the third map is. I'm going to anticipate Haven, but at the same point in time, there's obviously an argument that it could be Split. In general, teams just don't play Split very often. They're just not huge fans of the map. I guess I can't blame them. It's a little bit more puggy and disastrous. So, I don't know. There's a lot of kind of gimmicky nonsense on Split that people just aren't super fond of. Welshi doing what Welshi did in the first half with those grenades, taking down Cutler early on. And I am sure Cutler is not too pleased with that one. Many people upset with the way that Raze plays with the damage that comes through from those nades.
It's interesting, too, because we've seen a lot of teams run comps without the Raze whatsoever. Obviously, we have both teams having a Raze in this particular build. Actually, I lied. No, we do not on mouseSpaz's side. They're not dealing with it. And while the Raze does have a ton of potential to do damage, particularly in some of these choke points as they come through, the gain in utility that can control sightlines is huge when you don't have to play with that Raze. She doesn't really have anything that doesn't, other than, I would say the Boom Buddy is great for scouting, but otherwise it's pretty much all damage utility. Having flexibility in that regard is an asset to teams, and we're seeing more teams play with it. This is a great post plan for big frames already to start out on the right foot. They used that wall that we saw from mouseSpaz so many times to get themselves space on towards the site. Here we're going to have the Shatter coming in. Hayes going to get himself a kill as well with the breach charge, but Bjor answers back with 2 of his own, looking for the third, and it's actually Dev who flanked around into U-Haul to get it. And so that's only 1 player dropped, and big frames are really coming through nicely here to start off the second half, build on what they'd already done, and get themselves towards 9. They only need 4 rounds at this point to seal the deal and take us through to the second map of the series.
Such a strong game coming in from Welshi with that Raze. You have to wonder if the Raze is going to come out in the next map as well. Because we didn't see Welshi play the Raze before. We saw Welshi playing... We were trying to figure this out, what Welshi was playing in that previous match.
He was a Cypher, I believe.
No, that was... Yeah, I think so.
Dev was the breach.
Dev was the breach. Welsh was the Cypher. So they just... Yeah. So they didn't go for a breach. They went for a Raze, but rather than putting the Raze on the breach, they put it on... It's a little bit of a swap.
I'm gonna guess it's depending on which site they play. They favor certain agents at certain
certain
sites.
Maps too. In general, it's gonna play certain directions a little bit easier.
Yeah.
So not only do they get access to Long B, before they put the spike down, they manage to pick up the ult orb as well. That's going to make things a little bit easier for them as they get very close to securing the double digits. We'll get in the perspective of Lasky as soon as the game allows me to. Pistol coming out. It's just a classic. El Clasico. Lasky really shouldn't even pop a smoke or the Smolly. Just hold on to it and try and do some damage.
There was a nice detail. He can get a ghost at least. Gives him something. Okay, Lasky. Make the classic work for you. I can't hit that in a million years, but that's beautifully done. Spy cam darted. I mean, this is over, but he's going to try for it. There's one detail that I want to point out at the end of this round, but we'll focus on Lasky right now. Here we go. Time is running out. Nerfed ends him. So the Cypher over on the attacking side, a Sage Wall went up to left side of site over towards the back halls, right? And the Cypher jumps up and throws a tripwire just on the edge of that, so that if a player tries to boost over, whether it be a Raze throwing a satchel charge, whether it be a Sage walling back over, she's going to trigger that tripwire. And it's a place you never expect it. That's kind of a nice little detail. I don't know if we'll ever see it be effective, but at some point it's going to catch somebody entirely off guard and be the complete swinging around.
Looking at the scoreboard right now, Cutler 10-11-1. But no one's really having an all-star game, and it does really reflect when you look at the overall score. This is a big round here for the side of mouseSpaz. They desperately need to slow this push down. Hayes will get the first, but that was actually elsewhere on the map.
Cage triggered.
No, that was over here. Never mind. What am I talking about? I'm hitting the wrong buttons. I keep forgetting. buttons change, and I'm like, this is a different person. Hayes has the flash ready. There's the flash going out to delay. Follow-up flash is also ready, but it's going to be Cutler who just goes in dry. Doesn't even need the flash from his teammate. Lasky will get blinded by that breach flash.
Out of charges.
But now Loner and Nerf looking around, wondering where the rest of their team is gone. The A site's completely vacant, but that's also because they pushed down mid. Drone's going to be waiting there for them, so now it's all on Loner. Loner hears the footsteps, and there's the recon dart. So the recon dart gets destroyed. Loner is really looking to punish Drone here. It's a Sova on Sova 1v1. They're both sending out recon darts. But now the supports arrive. Yeah, the TP comes through, and Loner's realizing quickly that the gun's likely all they're going to break out of this round with.
I think he wanted that last potential just to get the frag and maybe start to build here. But now he's going to back out, and I think this is a wise read. No one's chasing him in towards spawn. Should have the Bulldog to play with. They'll have plenty of money as well. There's actually a lot of attacking economy that's going to come through here. The Bulldog maybe wasn't necessary. They'd have a buy in the next round regardless of what happened here. But it does allow them to get a bit more utility. And with Nerf, actually, they're going to save this. No. Was showing players with ghosts, and that confused me, but I think that may have just been the UI not updating as quickly as possible. So they are going to buy.
I mean, they might have bought. They didn't buy any ghosts, so they likely could have bought ghosts and sold them. I mean, anything could have happened.
Because why would you buy a ghost in this round where you're limited on your economy, where you're going to need to
exactly
to buy up utility? It's a luxury buy when you've got the guns up. Look at this camera. Okay, it's going to get shut down, but it did give him a little peek too over towards long, so just a wee bit of information there for Cutler.
Which camera was that?
It was out towards A long, or B long rather, right up over, and it peered over the whole archway to peek down the hallway.
On the spikes?
I believe so.
There's those spikes up in the corner. If you hit V, you can free cam. There's spikes up there in the corner. That's the wall that's the camera we were talking about before. That's pretty popular. You toss that camera up there. You have to go up on the double boxes, so you have to jump off the bin onto the double boxes and then jump throw it up onto the spikes. It can be a little bit tricky, but it's also become so common that it's something that players always look for. Yeah. Now they are going to be cycling back towards A. The Cypher pretty low on HP here on this defending side. Probably would like a heal from the Sage, who's all the way though over. Kind of hemmed into a corner. Back in the cubby.
Smoke's down.
There's the smokes coming out from Nerf. And they're going to blow up that Sage wall, but that's going to make things a little bit trickier. Now, they do have Welshie up on top of the box. They still got to deal with Sage here in this corner. They tried to throw the barrier down, but it doesn't go down in time. There's one still sitting in the corner again, but the wall does go down, and the bomb, or the spike, going to be planted just in the nick of time. The res coming through as well. This will be an attacker's round unless Hayes has something to say about it. The breach rotating in from the B site. Nice quick shot onto Nerf.
Clearing out.
Breach charge coming through. Not going to connect.
I think that res shows the respect they have for Hayes. They're just that want to guarantee this, and perhaps he's showing exactly why. A couple of kills here. What could have been a 1v1 is now a 1v2 because of that res, and time is getting ever lower. Hayes trying to wrap back around. They're expecting to play out U-Haul, of course, but time is no longer viable. Hayes just did not have enough opportunity to get all the way through that and took a little bit too much time with it. So he will escape with the rifle, did some damage, but not enough to secure the round. That's now 11-5. They are so close to getting us to the next map. They can taste it on the big frame side. Just 2 more rounds.
2 more rounds and they'll be able to tie things up and bring it back to a BO1, which could end up on Haven. I mean, we don't know the second map yet. They did play Haven before, and it was a really good game. So I don't think either team would necessarily shy away from that map. Why don't we ask the admins? Do we know what that next map is?
Do we know? Give us the deets. Give us the inside scoop. Okay, slow orb here, actually from the attacking side, anticipating a fast peek out long and wanting to deny it early on. That's interesting to me. Maybe just trying to deny that ultimate orb as well, as there currently aren't really any ultimates on the defensive side, but they could get to them rather quickly. Hayes, Cutler, both one away, drone 2 away. So it's definitely a concern to try and deny that type of control for the defense. Sova dart into the back of site, going to give them a lot of information as they start to peer out of hookah. The breach is tucked, at least for the moment, and it is going to be up to these two players, the Cypher and the breach, to really hang on. Wardell's a swing player. He can rotate rather quickly.
I have the spike.
But it's still going to be up to them to hold the line.
We'll see what they decide to do here as the push is about to come in. There's a trip line going down. Wardell now starting to rotate over, and Wardell's gotten into a dangerous position here. But Drone getting that kill. Now they're pulling Wardell off. That is a misplay. Wardell misreading the situation altogether. They need Cutler to go big, and Cutler does get the first 2, but now they're coming through from the window, and they're going to round the corner. No, Wardell gets there in time. It's down to 1, and Cutler's managed to find 3 kills on the round, playing aggressive on B main, even to the extent of them saying, ow.
That was nice. His bullet tracking was interesting to me as well, because he actually missed the first, I don't know, 5 bullets of his spray as those players were coming around the corner. So to be able to adjust or be able to corral it back in and chase down not just 1 but 2, that's a aggressive play there.
Goes here.
Nice recovery, nice frag, and of course that's really what holds the line for the team. So it's a long road. They're still 5 rounds behind, but they took the first step. They've made this perhaps possible. And aggression out bathrooms again going to be their solution. This is what they did last round. This is how they caught nerfed in towards A short. They're going to do it again. This time they double push it, realize that nobody's home. They should signal the stage to rotate, but until they clear mid, they're not going to feel quite comfortable enough doing it. But it is a full-out B hit. And with aggression out towards long, Cutler's going to get 2 again. He's still alive as well. No chance for the trade. And he's spotted a 3rd. He's got the kill as well. That's the spike. That's the round all over and done with. It was just an eco this time around, but still perfect control from Cutler and all the kills to boot.
11-7. This is not over yet. Yes, very close. But it's not over till it's over.
Did he just... I'm watching Cutler's perspective. He just dumped 2 cyber cages on top of the boxes there.
I did not see. We were not over on his perspective when that happened.
Let's show them to me. There's certainly one. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Drone's going to get a pick early on, though. Again, this double bathrooms aggression paying off initially just to net them a frag and remove the lurker from the other side. So now it's a straightforward hit on towards B. If they don't get these kills, that's really going to be all they can do apart from trying to
Okay, there's a gap, but it's not big enough to actually exploit. Wardell going to get spotted. Wardell trying to dodge the shots, going to dodge them for now. There was a shot coming in from the opposite side, too, but we didn't see it.
Oh, my.
And we'll go up into the 3rd person here as we fly around on the map. You can see they're making their way out onto the site. 4 players out, and there's a lot of utility being dumped down. Oh, that Molly right in the middle. They're already on the retake here. Drone coming through, and Drone finding 3 kills on the round. That's actually an ace for Drone. So Drone, great play coming in on the retake. They thought they had a lot more going for them as they went for that B site, and Drone completely shuts it down. Just 3 rounds away from tying it out.
What a hero play. Coming back in, I mean, that was, what, a 2v5 as they came back through? Finds a full ace. I don't know, was there... I may have missed it. Was there a res? No, there was not, because Bjork does nearly have that ult still up. So there definitely wasn't a res into the last round. So that was just a straightforward ace. Beautifully done from Drone. And he was the player who was aggressive out bathrooms initially, so he got his first pick there. And he worked his way all the way around the site to get the others. This time they're not going to get bold in bathrooms. There's at least been utility going back the other direction to slow them down. And you'll hear the Boom Buddy starting to make its way up. Control being taken towards A short and in towards mid. But the shotgun's going to come back the other way to deal out a little bit of damage perhaps on the other side. And you can see he's already gotten one with the shock dart. As we said, a little bit rare, but now they got the off in the position as well. Wardell's got 2, and they have been annihilated all onto Bjorn. He's just got to try and make the solo play while he will catch Drone. That should be all she wrote, and indeed it is. Oh.
Every time you think it's over, it returns. It's never over. It's like the stomach flu. Just keeps coming back.
Is observing this game just like start to give you a low level play?
It's pretty bad, isn't it?
It's struggling. I don't mind it as much because it's just my perspective, but I know that as soon as the stream's on yours, it's so much extra pressure. I don't even enjoy observing CS. I can't imagine this one.
I don't mind observing Counter-Strike. That's easy to me because it's logical. But when the binds literally change to random numbers at halftime, that's when it's like, all right, this is just stupid. Like, I get it. It was not designed to be a viewable tournament title in the beta. It just happened. Like, we were talking about this the other day. The game was not created with its intention to have tournaments day one of the game. But that's what happened.
I know exactly.
Hopefully they can adjust quickly on the fly and make it work. Now, they were going over towards this B site, and they still are. They're running right into the Cypher trap. The Cypher was Cutler, and we were trying to get to his perspective, a perfect example of what I was just talking about. We wanted to get there in time. Now, you'll notice this too. Have you ever noticed that sometimes it just randomly switches off to a different player even though you didn't tell it to?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out whether there is an auto-director or like the spirit of one.
It's just broken. It's just broken. It'll just randomly take control and just switch you to another player. I still haven't been able to figure out why it happens. It happens really common with Cypher if there's two Cyphers in the game and they're both alive. Or not Cypher, Phoenix, excuse me.
Lasky's going to bail out here. How's the money looking for the defense? Okay, they've got plenty of it. So at least they're going to be able to contest your OT. This doesn't even really matter, but it is going to be map point for Big Frames. Obviously, it's not series point for them at this point. There was the advantage for mouseSpaz coming through. But I think that's a pretty big sigh of relief for Big Frames. Now the question is just, can they seal the deal? Don't let your foot off the gas. One more round. All you need, boys. Did we ever find out what our next map was going to be?
No, we don't know.
I'd like
the players will know, but we do not. So, since that's the beauty of the way the system at least works when it's online play, is that's online servers run by the players, so they just handle it themselves. They didn't handle it in match comms. Yes.
I just realized I could whisper directly to the players while we're in the observer setup.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you can do that in other
games.
games.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Again, the observer client, the reason it's broken is because the observer client is literally just what you see when you're dead in-game. So there's a reason you can only see HP of the attacking side or the defending side. That's the side you're always on, whether you're attack or defense. There's a reason all the rounds show as attack. There's a reason you can't see certain things in the UI, like ping. It's all very peculiar because it was hacked and scratched together for the game's launch. It was never something that they like put serious thought into. So I'm hoping this is just sort of this will work for now solution, and then they'll change it out over time. That's what I'm hoping for.
The great thing is that they've got, I mean, we don't know how much mimicry there's going to be, but there's a nice guideline of an established UI that's been worked on for 8 years in the Counter-Strike.
I thought you were going to say League of Legends, because if you look at League of Legends, the UI is still not centered.
Oh my!
It's been off center for years. It drives people nuts. There's the ult coming in from Welshie. Let's see if we can get a perspective of Welshie. Welshie actually gets flashed, so the ult doesn't really do anything. You heard the call out, but no rocket. The fire is not in the hole. Fire is, I guess, in the pocket.
I think he dumped it towards heaven and was just full flash. No one was in heaven, so it didn't connect at all.
Well, this one could be for all the marbles. The peak from Wardell could have been money just a second sooner. And the wall is down, but it's been broken, and the attacking side trying to play post-plant defense. Bjor sitting inside the ice in the showers. The ticks are there, and it's all fallen down to this last player. Great shot from Wardell. We will continue on here as it's now double-digit rounds for the defense.
There we go. Two more needed to hit that sudden death, and at that point I think you're feeling pretty confident if you're mouseSpaz. Just momentum being on your side for sure. There's going to be plenty of money for both sides, which makes me happy. Actually, as I say that, Welshie might be a bit limited. It's going to be on towards the Bulldog instead of a full buy. Should have, well, actually not a ton of utility. Presumably the emphasis goes towards the nades, maybe the Boom Buddy, but there was not a lot of spare there. I suppose Nerf could have dropped that over. Not sure. It's a little bit tough to track on the attacking economy, at least initially. but we'll see. So potentially some limitations for the Rays, depending on what we save here from last round before death. We shall see. There's going to be a drone up mid, or down mid, rather. Initially, the Brimstone just trying to tuck and hide here. May have just escaped it. I think Nerfed did indeed avoid getting spotted at. Rather, that's not Nerfed. It is Nerfed. Minimaps. Confusing. Wardell, nice pick in towards Hookah. The spike is there as well, but he spotted the other player. Still, if another peek comes through here, might just yield that spike to boot. Loner, wisely, gonna back the heck off and say, let's try something else.
Decent orb placement. One of the things Wardell said in the previous series, I don't even play this game. It's kind of like, I'm still a Counter-Strike player at heart. I'm just playing this game for now because it's fun and everyone else is doing it. That's what's interesting to me is right now, Counter-Strike players are definitely gravitating towards the title. But I think over time, you're going to see there's going to be a divide. Counter-Strike players are going to start to go back to CS because Counter-Strike has big plans for the Source 2 engine. And more recently, stuff has been coming out about that. So you'll see more and more Counter-Strike fans are going to start to go back to the game because I think they are going to get sort of alienated as the game starts to add more champs. Or more agents, excuse me, and become more and more like League of Legends in this development cycle. There's the kill coming in from Loner in the post plant. 3v3 now. 2 players playing towards long. They want to destroy this wall so they can get through. Wardell looking for a gap. Finds it initially, but then the wall is completely broken. They know they're over towards long. Wardell's got this player locked down. You know Wardell wants to pre-fire that. There's the shot. Wardell looking for more. Spike is now ticking away. They desperately need to get into the site. It's all up to Lasky here to prevent this one from going to a third map. Lasky can't find them.
On your hats.
So Lasky's going to go ahead and tap it. Baits out Loner. Not going to make a difference. So the 1-0 now becomes a 1-1 as we get ready to jump into the second game